Hello, good afternoon, good day na lang to everyone. So, Sir Marlon here. I'm very sorry if pre-recorded ang session. May emergency lang si Sir. Nevertheless, I will be giving you the instructions for Chapter 2 for your entrepreneurship to be passed next week after your exams. So, most likely, the deadline will be on Friday, April 2. Okay? So I'm hoping that all of you guys will be able to finish it. Don't worry. You just have to pass it, and then I will be checking it immediately for chapter 2. For chapter 1, I will be giving you your grades for your chapter 1 on Wednesday. Okay? So let's start. So I will discuss to you right now the all of the parts that you will be tackling for your marketing analysis. So let's look at first the format, no? So for the format, you will have to be making this since you're done with chapter 1. Just try to finish this market description, insert 2 paragraphs, 5 sentences, anticipated demand, environmental analysis, competitor analysis, and ayun, target profile, market position, key success and critical issues, and that's it. Okay, it's a bit, it's not as short as chapter one, of course, but don't worry. Based on the number of people that you have per group, you can do this man half by half. I think the only medyo hindi man mabigat pero the biggest thing that you will be doing here is that you will be doing at least a little survey just to find out how much your demand is for the supposed market that you will be having, no? So let's start. So I'll be opening the first part, market analysis. So market analysis is what you will be doing, no? So let's skip through this. Let's do it diretso na. So the first thing that you will be doing is you will be doing your market opportunity or your market description. What does that mean? It's a projected potential size of your market and sales. This means you'd need to estimate how many consumers or businesses belong to your target market. So in your first part of your marketing analysis, ang imo lang ninyo is you have to at least research depending on the location that you have, which is in this case Davao City, or to be more specific in a certain place that you have here, let's say in Panabo or in let's say Panakan or let's say Buhangin or whatever. These certain areas rather, look at how much the possible market there is. What's the population here? Kumbaga, okay? How many consumers are there in the said market that you will be creating? Or not, even if dili lang sa vicinity ninyo, in the market per se, Jud. Let's say you will be selling food. So, unsa man ang population niyo tanaw, usually it's a lot, lahat, di ba? What if you will be selling ice? Like for example, one group. If you have a niche market, then you have to look for the population or the number of clients that you will possibly be having. Okay? As per the anticipated demand, no, for the products and services, you'll be doing either a past research of data, which is hard to do. So you'll have to at least get fresh data, mag-survey mo. What you will be doing is you will have to find out how much is my potential demand here right now. How many people will buy? So later, I will be showing you the template to show you what the other group did. No, basically what they did is nag-survey lang sila, ipakita lang nila ang results, and that's it. So that's what you will be doing. You will anticipate the demand. Here you will look at how much the demand is generally, and here out of the opportunity that you have, what's the total demand that you will be getting. Okay? So through survey yan siya. So the next thing that you will be doing is you will be doing a environmental scanning. So the next thing that you will be doing is you will be doing a environmental scan or a pestle analysis. I think you already know this based on your previous subjects, no, management. But to basically put it, you have to research the market, the environment or the business environment that you have based on your business, 'di ba? So P stands for political, economic for E, S is for socio-cultural, T is for technological, legal is for L. So, what will you do? Sa inyong side business, what you will be doing is that you will be creating descriptors or what are the related analysis or analyses of your said scanned concept. For example, dere, political. President Donald Trump consistently encourages the success of American-based brands, indicating that Coca-Cola carry the favor of their country of origin governing body. So to basically put it, political means that unsa man ang stand sa um, balaod or what are the laws or what is the stand of the government in terms of the business that you have, 'di ba? So you can research that. Economic as well. How is your certain business industry, the industry that you are going to engage in, like for example, film industry, uh, how is it based on the economy that we have right now? Is it profiting or not? Is it increasing or not? Is the economy crashing down or not? Next is the socio-cultural. So in terms of the how social cultural, how the people or how people in the certain area or certain country or certain state relates to the business that you have. Like for example, because of health concerns, Coca-Cola created Coke Zero. Ayan na. So, kamo in your business, what do you think is the socio-cultural impact of your business? Technological, very self-explanatory. What is the technology that you will possibly be using? And legal, or what are the laws that that may limit or that may improve your business, di ba? Like for example, liquor ban, if ever you will be engaging in alcohol beverages na business, there's a law or a what they call this, hindi law, a ordinance that does not approve of alcohol being consumed beyond the hours katong wala pa yung pandemic, di ba? Liquor ban ba? Ay liquor na limit ba? So kana unsay impact niya? So you have to write that down as well. And then environmental, what's the environmental impact of your business? You can see this here in the PPT. I will be sending this as well. So ana. So political, economic. Sir, what kind of format will we be using for the pestel? Kamo, if you have different formats, it's okay as long as the pestel is still there. But you have to explain it one by one, which I will also be showing you later. Okay? And then let's exit that. No, let's go to chapter part 2. So for Porter's 5 forces, you will also be creating this scan. Basically, it's a model that assesses the balance of power in a business situation. So there are 5 assumptions here in the Porter's 5 forces. So these are the five forces kumbaga. In a business, these are the things that we have to consider that may prove to be an big impact to your said business, 'di ba? So competitive rivalry up until buyer power. So when you talk about competitive rivalry, very focused. Very obvious. Competitive rivalry is do you have a great deal of rivals or competitors in your market or konti lang? So you have to check that out. You have to see to it, no. Next, the intensity as well. The rate of industry or market growth, the high exit barriers. Madali lang ba pasukan ang business or dili? No. The number of competitors, marami na ba siya or growing ba siya? Ano. And next as well, the threat of new entry. When you talk about threat of new entry, it's degree of competition and power that are also affected by the ability of people. Kato, threat of new entry. I think it's here. No? So 5 important barriers. Let's move on to this. Ayan, supplier power. When you talk about supplier power, this simply means what's the power of the kung tayo namoy ginapalitan og inyong mga items, raw materials, let's say, or naga-merchandising mo. Karon, what's the power or what's the impact of these suppliers to your business? If you have the power as a seller to increase your prices or dili, kumbaga nga na. That's one factor. If the supplier has a low impact or low power, kumbaga si supplier katong ginakuhaan ninyo ga items, it means that you have more control of your of your business or of the things that you're selling in terms of restocking, inventory. Pero if dako ang power sa supplier to increase the prices of the supply, kutahay rice, dili man nimo ma-control as a seller if mag-resell ka og rice, di ba? So they have high supply power. Dapat that's one thing that you have to find out when you're selling, like for example caravans, or you're selling or you have a service based meaning ang supplier power na pag service based na kusog ba dili, usually dili, di ba, kay ikaw ang ikaw ang usually ang na-control. Pero if merchandising ka or manufacturing, especially if you're in the food industry, what's the power of the suppliers? Okay, so the bargaining power of supplier determines. What about buyer power? What's the power right now, not of the supplier but of the people you are selling your products to? So if example, pwede sila magdemanda or magdemanda lower prices for a certain item, meaning taas ang buyer power nila. But if you still have more control over them, then the buyer power is lower. Na sometimes usually pag dagko ang imong market or daghan kaayo, let's say commodities, usually the buyer power is a little bit influential, no? Magreklamo ang mga tao, ingani. But usually po pag commodities like rice, oil, gulay, chicken, usually the people have no power. It's usually the suppliers that have power, no? So you have to take that into consideration as well. Na threat of substitution. So if this simply means that if your product is product A, what's the threat or what's the impact or what's the chances that I can be substituted by another product? Like for example, kung akong ginakaon kay chicken or fried chicken permi ang ang akong product, na by chance na ma-substitute ko if pulihan ko or taparan ko og other business na pork chop tanan, fried pork chop, kusog ba ang ilang impact sa akong sales? Can my product be substituted eventually? That's threat of substitution. And kani bargaining power of suppliers, rivalry among existing competitors, threat of new entrants. So you have to figure that out. You have to create something like this, but it's up to you. You don't have to follow this format. You can do yourself. You can do whatever kind of format that you want, but you also have to create explanations, no? By explanation kayo for each. So, but this is the gist of the Porter's 5 forces, ha? It's very easy to make as long as you divide the work within your group. Okay? Na, pwede nga ni pod, if you don't want the medyo creative, you want it very simple, minimalistic, you can do this as well. Okay? Or you can do this, very, very kind. Don't worry, the data here is all here, man, in the, And then, let's proceed to the next one, which is your part 3, kani. Target market and positioning. So, in target market and positioning, there are 4 segments that you have to create. You have to segmentize, no? First is geographic segmentation. What does that mean? When you're going to create geographic segmentation, guys, it involves segmenting your audience based on the region they live or work in. So, you have to segment. Dali lang man siya mag-segment kay Davao City lang mo. So what part of Davao City right now? So you just have to write that down. The segment here is from my clients will be mostly from Panakan, Buhangin, Pedilanang, depende where you are staying, Indangan or whatever, or Matina or Maa or Bahada or whatever. So that's segmentation, very easy, geographical. That's area already. Demographic then is different. You're not going to base it on area. You're going to base it on different traits such as age, gender, income, occupation, and family status. What does that mean? My target market right now, I have to find out if ages 10 to 20, 15 to 30, mugawas man na siya sa inyuhang survey. Gender, male or female. If I'm selling this, that, will the gender matter? Usually it does. Male, female, or other sex. Income, mga lower income akong inaselan or higher income people, di ba? For example, caravans sa isa ka grupo or renting caravans. Usually high income people, di ba? But when you're, or for example, cinema in hilltop, usually with cars, 'di ba? So medyo medium to high income, mga mid-income to high income. For example, ICE, mga negosyante jud. So you already know the income. Occupation sa mga trabaho nila and family status and whatever. When you talk about psychological segmentation, unsay values sa isa ka area, the area that you want to sell in. Unsay beliefs nila, lifestyle, attitudes, interest. What are their social classes? So you can market accordingly. For example, ang ako kay kanang mga vegetarian kana because they want or students who are stressed students kana students who have high hours of whatever or mga tao na stressed, that's a lifestyle or that's not a lifestyle but that's a something that they're going through, no. That's a not a culture as well but somewhat of an attitude but maybe an inherent characteristic that they have because of stress, diba? Because of something that's triggering them. So you can write it down. Like for example, the group of one group that is servicing about stress relieving, diba? Tong sa Zoom na stress relieving. So unsay lifestyle nila? So mga stressed people, yung you have to find that out. Athletic people, yung appeal sa psychological. And for behavioral, so this is a little bit different from psychological because what you're looking at here is the segments depending on their behavioral patterns when interacting with a particular business or website or product. Like for example, why is it that they will buy this product? Kay nagabantay sila silang buhok kana. O cheaper siya, yung that's a behavioral segment. People will buy this. That's why people, especially in the Philippines, may sachet na mga shampoo o even sabon, di ba? Naka-sachet siya ginagmay. Because ang behavior sa mga Pinoy, they want to look for cheaper prices. That's why mga sachet diri. Sa other countries wala sachet. Sa mga shampoo, sa mga nakabulto na tanan, di ba? 500 grams and whatever. Or blank liters. Sa ato anay ginagmay because that's a behavioral pattern. No, how do they use their product? They use it in small doses. So that's one thing that you have to find out as well. Okay, so their purchasing behavior and tendencies and whatever. Okay, so but here in the next key factors of success and critical issues. Very simple. Just find out what are the considerations why your target market would buy your product, and what are the considerations of the target market as well, not buying your product. So you have to write that down. So in the format is 5 to 10 sentences. So write that down. Pwede 5 na. So next, for the for the final one, for market targeting and positioning. So sige, diretso na ta. For the last part, if you look here, ayan, let's see here, you have to create a market position. Okay? So, how will you make your market position? Very simple. First, you have to create a segment evaluation. Let's go to diretso to the format. No? The explanation is there. You can write it down. But the important thing is that you have to show this one. You have to look into the characteristics or the factors that create your segments. You have to create your market segment. Sorry, hindi to kasali. And then reminder okay, I'll remind you na lang daan, hindi na natin to isali sa when creating a market segment. So look at these 6: the potential of new entrants, substitute products, power of the buyer, power of the supplier, capability and priority of the segment. So what you will do right now is you have to create segments. What are these? When you speak of segments, these are the potential segments of your target market. Kumbaga, when we go back here, when you go back to the purpose of target marketing, it's to find out what are the buyers that you have. Who are the buyers rather, di ba? But in segment, you have to make hati-hati or hatian ninyo na ang market segment karon. For example, if your market target or your target market is from, going back here, is from people from 15 ages 18 years old to 30 years old, mahati gyapon nimo na katong mga dagko og sweldo, mga gagmay og sweldo, mga working people, mga um, unemployed people, ana, mga teenagers na nag-eskwela pa. Katong mga ginagmay sa imong target market from 18 to 30, mo na mga segments nimo. Another segment is kung tayo female imong target market. Then, unsay mga lahi-lahi na female? Na yung mga working female, mga students na female, mga female na single mothers, female na mother or whatever, or yung ana, or tigulang. Depende na sa imong target market. Later, I will show you the example as well. Okay? And then, after you create your market segmentation, after you have created this table, you will then find out, you will then create a market position. It's the arranging of a product to occupy a clear, distinct, and desirable place in relation to other competing products. So baga, market positioning is, in a way, you're not creating a motto, but you're creating a label for yourself. Gina-label ninyo inyuhang, or gina-label ninyo rather, ang inyuhang product or inyong business. And one thing that you have to think about is dapat you can identify the label. Beneficial siya, it benefits your company, there's a distinctive advantage, and it's efficient and rewarding. So I'll give you so these are the explanations, but very self-explanatory. So kani siya ang example. For example, this, sa Whole Foods. Walt Disney rather. For the young and young at heart, Walt Disney World is the theme park that best delivers on an immersive and magical experience. Because Walt Disney World and only Walt Disney World connects you to the characters and worlds you most desire. So it's very clear, it's concise, it will help your company, it's very efficient and rewarding as well. No? So you have to create a label, a label within your market, within your business rather. Balag, basta dili ana kataas, and then explain it as well. Like for example, Whole Foods, the highest standards for it available. So wala daw. So sila ang naghimo sa highest standards. The label or the market position benefits them already. Ana. So to give you examples of such, yan. Nakip ang ano. Sige lang. I'll be showing you the template. Ayan. So for example, this is a template. This is what the reference that I told you about. Market opportunity. Very simple, 5 sentences lang. Again, what they did was they just look at the expected customers that they have in the certain area. Then, from the survey that they had, from the anticipated demand, our business aims to cater to students. Then, that was their anticipated demand because they created a survey. Nahibala nila kinsa ang mahibala nila kinsa ang ilahang baligyan, their target market, di ba? And then, you just have to create your market analysis. You can do it like this, very simple lang. Political, rice being a political commodity because what they're selling here in the example is food man, rice toppings. So, political, commodity, and they created an opportunity and threat, the factor. Thus, making rice products a top priority and an important key in the political climate in the supply of goods. Economic, research po nila. So, kailangan naka-research mo about about rice sa ilahas. Depende sa yung business. Socio-cultural, because people always eat rice. Diba? Technological, Twitter, Facebook, pwede ka dali na lang market. Or pwede po about technology that is based on production of rice. And then legal, our company ensures that appropriate legal backgrounds of our workers as well as liabilities. Ensuring them to have a safe and legalized job. So kamo mangita po mo balawd na. Okay? And then environmental, what's the benefit there for the environment doing your business? And then explain it. Very simple. Next, create a Porter's 5 forces, no? What they did was they tried to write down the low, the high, the medium, the moderate parts of creating a Porter's 5. So what they came up with this threat of substitutes, rivalry among competitors. So for each label that they had for for each porter's five forces or factor, gisulat nila kung naay high ni siya na factor, kung medium or dili. Like for example, for rivalry, number of competitors very high. Diversity of competitors very high because there are a lot of restaurants. Sa inyo ha, like for example, going back to the ice, no, Dove Frio, low ang competitors based on your area. Ana. So what if Carvans low pod for the consistency na group. For the service-based, low pod katong sa ila Jinky. Pero katong mga food-based, daghan jud ang competitors. Like for example, ilater siya. But what if, so you have to find out, okay, bargaining powers, kung moderate ba siya or low. And of course, you have to explain this. You have interpretation of the data. Sir, ang rami, of course, dagan man po mo sa group. So you have to find out how to finish this. And then, create segmentations as well. So, geographic segmentations, sila, Davao lang, ana. Demographic here is that senior high school, 19 to 25, and then faculty and staff. But kayo, sa labas man kayo, theoretically, so you have to look for it. So, demographic. Psychological, no? For them, gipakita nila diri na dili mo kaon ng tao sa Pinas pag walay rice. So that's a psychological there's a very cultural thing to do. That's part of psychological. Kamo, how will you put a segment right now sa inyo, ha? Especially for those who are very niche, like katong Carvans o katong mga and kato yung Carvans actually. So, saan niyo pag-segment para ma-justify na inyong feasible inyong business. And then behavioral. Like for example, during the break time of students or the office workers, they go directly to the cafeteria. So that's a behavioral thing that their area, their demographic area is doing, their target market. Kamo, like for example, papers, printing. What's one, culturally speaking, when schools in Davao, good, nagpa-print jud, so importante jud siya. So kamo, saan niyo paghimo? And then key success, dali lang ni siya. Okay? For you, by your research, what will you do? What are the things to consider by the customers when buying their product? And the main consideration of the customers in not buying the product. So you have to be honest as well. So you have to look at the weakness and the strength that your company has. And then when you're market targeting here, come on siya, one example. Let's do this. Gitanggal lang ang growth. Like for example, 761 students ang grade 11 students. Tanaw nila potential new entrants is high. Substitute products is high. Power of buyers high. So meaning, unsa man dito sa ilang target market ang ibutang nila diri, grade 11, grade 12, high allowance, low allowance, teachers, female students, male students. Based on the market segment that they created, their number one priority is low allowance students. Mao cheaper ang ilang products. Kamo, how will you do that right now? Now that your segments are there, what are your priority clients? Based on this, dira na mo mahibal-an na, mao din ang segment ako. Gibaba nila ang priority sa teachers kay gamay ra man ang teachers, di ba? Pero dagan man kaayo og high allowance, low allowance students. So dito lang priority. Sir, isang priority lang ba ang i-focus? Pwede man 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just a way for you to find out. But of course, priority number 1, 2, 3, automatic na siya. Okay? And that's it. Market positioning at the end of the day as well. For them, only lang give mo a one-stop shop in Asian rice topping cuisine without blowing up your hub. Very easy. For them, barato lang. Tanan gusto nimo paliton na Asian cuisine na rice toppings dito, dili po siya gasto, di na kailangan mo gawas. Kamo, unsa man inyong market position right now? But don't worry, when you're done with that, while you're doing all of these things, you can actually just ask me from time to time. No worries, just ask. And then while you're asking as well, and after you're done as well, after the exams, we will be consulting again. Pero karon dili na siya i-present ninyo. Mag-breakout rooms na lang ta. I will be going to your groups. I'll be showing you what are the things that you have to improve on already. And then on Wednesday, after this, I'll be giving you the deadline yung kailan nyo pasa to. But most likely, we will have our deadline on April 2. Okay? And that's it. This is just the thing that you have to do right now. Chapter 2. Once you're done with Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, you're good to go. Sa finals na ta sa Chapter 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Reminder again, chapter 3, 4, 5, 6. You can do it actually anytime na if you want to go ahead na. No problem. But of course, if you want to stay the course lang, chapter 1 and 2 ta. Human naman tas chapter 1, okay? Again, grades will be given for your chapter 1 on Wednesday. Mag-breakout rooms lang ta. Further questions, address it on Wednesday or you can chat to me after watching this video. Okay? Please disseminate this video. I will be sending it to your respective GCs. Watch everything. Please do watch everything. At least kani medyo okay na siya na video kay wala kayo dire-diretso siya na wala iga-iga si sir dire-diretso na ni siya para mas makasabot na mo. If it's too fast, don't worry. We still have Wednesday to talk about it. This is just for you on Tuesday to have reference sa mga gusto na mag-start. Or even if I can upload it right now, no problem. Okay? So that ends it. I hope that this is very helpful pa rin. You can just scroll this, save this, download this video, send it from time to time, pasa-pasa ninyo, and that's it. Okay? Goodbye, thank you.